Girl, are you tired of people walking all over you and treating you like a doormat? Are you tired of people cancelling on you last minute? Are you tired of people speaking to you in disrespectful manner? Are you tired of people making asshole jokes to you? If that's you, this video is for you. My name is Kinga, welcome to my channel. So today I want to talk about getting respect from people, because that's what you deserve, babe, respect. And if you're not currently getting respect, there's a very, very simple solution: boundaries. I have learned this the hard way. I severely lack boundaries with friends, in intimate relationships, family, people in general. And once I implemented solid boundaries and I fixed that one thing, all of the dynamic has changed. It's actually insane. It's something that you have to really do if you want to get and command respect from people. Because on the flip side, if you accept poor treatment from people, you basically degrading your self-worth. You saying to your family members, to your friends, to your co-workers, to people in general, I don't love myself, treat me like shit. And you will attract more disrespect, because the more disrespect you will accept, the more disrespect will come. You have bad friendships and bad relationships. Setting boundaries is your declaration of your self-worth. It's basically, boundaries are saying, I know what I am worth. This is how I want to be treated. This is what I will not tolerate, or I will tolerate. What happens when you are too patient, too understanding, too compliant, too adaptive? You make it so easy for people to be selfish and to be disrespectful. And then you're like wondering, oh, like this person is selfish and that person is selfish, that person disrespected me. But you make it so easy. The thing you need to learn about people, they don't have to have a character disorder or be rotten to the core to be selfish with you or to disrespect you. Like, if you simply allow them to do this, if you enable this by being like I said, too patient, too compliant, too easygoing, they will do it to you. I've made a little list of things that you should never accept. So when it happens to you, you should be so grossed out and so disgusted. Okay, so number one, when somebody constantly cancels on you and basically doesn't give a fuck about your time. It's happened to me with certain friends. We make a plan and they will literally have the audacity to cancel last minute, like no consideration of my life or my plans, basically ruining my day. And then guess what? I said nothing. And guess what happened? It happened again and again and again. And actually it got worse, because later they got comfortable with, canceling last minute. They sometimes wouldn't even cancel, they would ghost. So that's what happens. Like with disrespectful behavior, it always gets worse. Next one, not following through on the promises. I really hate this. I'm a person of my commitments and my word. So when somebody breaks their word, or like they make a commitment and they will change their mind last minute, I really don't like it, especially if it's done in a very inconsiderate manner, in a selfish way. When it happened to me in the past, I necessarily haven't stood up my ground like I should have. And guess what? It got worse. And then it happened more and more and more, because it sent a message to that person. Like, it's okay to break a promise. Like, I broke that promise. Nothing bad happened. It doesn't matter to them, because they just think it's acceptable. They never learn that it's not okay. Making degrading comments, or, like funny jokes which are not funny. They basically, somebody's actually saying something really mean to you, but it's covered up as banter. Like, I don't really like this. It's it's very easy to get tricked into thinking you're having a joke with somebody, but it's not. Like, they're actually being fucking disrespectful. And by you laughing it off as if it's funny or cute, you make this person comfortable with being asshole to you. And guess what? They will do it again, and they will do it more. And the jokes will get more cruel. It's not okay. Like, if that ever happens, nip it in the bud straight away. Next one on my list, controlling behavior, criticizing you, telling you how you should do things, what can you not cannot do. Like this is basically when the person themselves above you, like they know they are the parent, you're the child, or they're the teacher, you're the student, and they feel comfortable with you being like below them and they disrespecting you. You don't have value in who you are and what you do and what you know. That is not okay. So don't look for the blame in yourself. Maybe I'm this or maybe I'm that. No, you're not. They're basically disrespectful. It's not nice. It's not okay. So now we've gone through some examples of disrespect that you should never, ever, ever in your life accept. Now I want to go through some principles of setting boundaries and maintaining respect with people. So principle number 1, address the disrespect immediately. So whether it's friendship or intimate relationship, when disrespect happens, you have to address it straight away. Like don't avoid it, don't brush under the carpet, don't hope that it will magically go away. It's stupid. You have to say something straight away. So if somebody makes like a mean comment to you, don't ignore it. Basically, you have to call them out. You have to say, I value kindness in my communication. Like I would never speak to you like this. What makes you so comfortable to speak to me like this? Embarrass them, call them out, make them uncomfortable, make them explain themselves. They need to feel that they've crossed the boundary. Principle number 2, boundaries without consequences are useless. So you always have to set boundaries with a consequence. Now, it would be a wonderful world full of ponies and unicorns and emotionally mature people if that would be sufficient to basically state a boundary and that person gets it straight away and never does it again. So yeah, it's not a reality that you will simply state a boundary and that behavior will never happen again. Most likely will happen again because that person may ignore you when you first state the boundaries. They would test the boundary again. And that's why when you state the boundary, you have to have a consequence. And that the consequence will apply the next time they cross the boundary. They have to experience some sort of a pain, loss. They have to be a learning experience because, you know, we as humans in general, we only evolve and learn through pain. So that's the way for them to learn to respect you, to learn to have empathy for you, learn to have self-control. Otherwise, you're just going to be this annoying person that keeps saying the same thing and they just keep ignoring and they think it's annoying. So setting a boundary with a consequence and giving that consequence makes you a buddy. Principle number 3, which is kind of similar to principle number 2, you have to set the tone of the dynamic and how you want to be treated in the dynamic, whether it's a friendship or intimate relationship, very early on. Because if you tolerate the bad behavior at the beginning, like I said, it will grow more and more. It's like weeds in your garden. It will just get worse with time. You have to set limits, make them clear, apply consequences, and enforce them and stick to them. Because the longer the bad behavior will continue, it will cement and strengthen in the relationship. And then by the time you know, because you've been keep brushing things under the carpet and then the bad behavior and then disrespect compounded and compounded, your garden will be full of weeds. Think of your relationship as a garden. It's just full of weeds. And then it's so far gone, you're just thinking, how the hell I've ended up in this relationship? But you've allowed it in the very small ways, which compounded every single day. And when you woke up, you had like, what the fuck moment. Example, if you dating this new guy and he's cancelled on you last minute and then you say it's fine, he learns by this situation that it's okay with you to be cancelled on last minute because you call, and then he will do it again and again and again, and like I said before, it will get worse. He needs to have a consequence and he needs to know he crossed your boundary. So girl, have respect, stop all of this fake chill girl bullshit. Like, it's boring. Show people that you have self-respect. Show people you have boundaries. Another important thing I want to touch on is looking at your part in the dynamic, okay? And it's a very important principle I live by in general. So I believe in being a self-responsible adult. I believe in self-honesty, and I believe in radical responsibility. So what it basically means, when I'm experiencing a negative situation, rather than trying to blame this on everybody else and on circumstances. I look at myself and I look how I have contributed to the dynamic, to the situation. Because when we take the responsibility, we take the power back. When we look for people to blame, for situation to blame, external situations to be blamed on, we give our power away. We become professional victims. And I'm not a professional victim. I'm gonna be responsible adult. I'm gonna be an example of radical responsibility and self-honesty. So that's actually maturity, okay? And a lot of people like to living in there like, oh, I'm a victim, it's happening to me. So the same with disrespect. If I'm experiencing a dynamic where I am getting disrespected, I'm gonna look at myself and think, how I've contributed to this? What is my contribution to this dynamic? Because you see, if you laugh it off when somebody's disrespectful, if you don't say anything, even though you getting fucking pissed off inside, if you like just comply, say nothing, or maybe you say nothing for a long time and then you explode when it's too late, you basically sending a message, all of this bad behavior, all of this is disrespect is okay with me. You, again, you're the enabler of the bad behavior. You just make it so easy for people to disrespect you and take the piss out of you. That's what happens. If you find yourself as a person who is generally struggling with setting boundaries, it's very interesting to link your current behavior to your past. So basically finding the root of why are you like this? What's causing you to be a person without boundaries or struggling to set boundaries? It will link back to your childhood because all of our adult issues, they always go back to the childhood. I've done a lot of trauma-informed work, childhood work. I find it actually super interesting. And what happens with a person who's a boundaryless person, very often you grow up in the environment when one of the parents was very controlling, domineering, dominant, maybe also displayed anger. And then you basically, as a child, you have to adapt, right? And you adapt by having no boundaries and also by being like, I never want to be like my parent. You just own those traits of control, assertiveness, of domination, because you don't want to be like them. So rather than having that as a part of your personality, you pushing that trait into the back of your subconscious, into the shadows, and you just own that trait. And then it's very interesting because what happens then in your adult life, you will also be seeking partners who have the qualities that you haven't developed in yourself. So if you like a person which is too adaptive, too passive, too easygoing, you will find yourself very attracted to a person who's more dominant, who's more assertive. You'll be drawn to them because they will have in them what you lacking in yourself. Psyche will try to balance it out by seeking this in another person. But it's actually very tricky because then you'll be attracting to the extreme and then you end up in the quite unfair dynamic of a dominant and a passive person. So the way to integrate this and heal this is not by seeking the qualities you don't have in yourself in another person, but developing this within yourself and integrating. So developing the healthy assertiveness, because assertiveness is a very healthy and important trait to have to live a good life. When you integrate this into your psyche, you'll become this conscious adult who lives conscious life and has healthy relationships, and you will attract healthier dynamics in the future. So the solution is to integrate healthy assertiveness into your life. Learn to say no, learn to speak up for yourself, learn to put people in their places, learn to say no to disrespect, learn to create boundaries. That's how we integrate assertiveness. There's this one thing I want to call out, which I really don't like. It's actually really pissing me off, is this whole unbothered propaganda. It's popularized by certain influencers in the dating advice. So they basically say, be unbothered, don't react. So if man crossing your boundaries, don't react, pretend you don't see, act unbothered. Like, I actually think it's very misleading advice. It maybe in some context can apply, but I would say it's a really shit advice. So let's say you're with a man and there is a situation where he's testing your boundaries, he's trying to poke you, by maybe looking at other women, or maybe he said something mean to you, and then what, you don't react, like you pretend you're unbothered and you haven't noticed. They say, oh, he will not do it again because you show them that you're above this, it doesn't touch you. Like, I call it bullshit, because if you don't make drama, if you don't make him feel like what he's done is a big fucking mistake, he will do it again and he will poke you more and more and more. So yeah, I think it's just really shit advice. So yeah, be very cautious of this unbothered advice. Another great motivation to set boundaries, apart from getting respect from people, would also be, because you have two choices. You either have boundaries or you get autoimmune disease. Because when you are not protecting yourself with boundaries, when you putting your body under constant stress and dysregulation, and it affects your nervous system, your mental health, your body, because your body is in constant distress of bottling things up you don't like, of being uncomfortable, of taking people's shit and disrespect, like it literally will make you ill. You're either a bitch with boundaries or you have autoimmune disease. Your choice. So the exercise I recommend that you do now is basically sitting down and reflecting on the boundaries that you're gonna set with your friends, with your intimate partner, with your kids, with your family, with people in general. So you have basically like a set of rules of how you're gonna deal with certain situations as they arise, and you're gonna have your rules, you're gonna have your consequences. So rather than freestyling in your life and kind of going blind and going unconscious and then just reacting by either reacting when it's too late or not saying anything, you have everything in your mind. Like, you know how you're going to operate in certain situations. It's very important, because then you don't freestyle anymore. You don't go blind, unconscious. You don't accept breadcrumbs and shit behavior from people. You just have, like, I would say, rules of engagement. And life becomes so much easier. You have so much more peace of mind. You feel so much better as a human. Like, generally, the boundaries are so magical. Like, I would say I'm now boundary obsessed. I love boundaries. They will increase your intrinsic self-worth, self-esteem, confidence. It's insane. You will vibrate differently. You will literally raise your frequency, and guess what? You will actually attract better situations, will flow to you, better people. Honestly, like, the quality of your life will improve, and people also will see you different. When you're too easygoing, too adaptive, you're actually boring. You are very vanilla. There's no texture to you. There's no edge. But when you have boundaries, there's a certain, aura to you. It is actually maxing your aura. You're like this sovereign body with solid boundaries. It will literally will emanate, and everybody will feel it. So I hope this video has motivated you to set some solid boundaries and show people how you want to be treated. So I love you, friends. See you soon.